Hi there, this is Chris Lambert-Gorwyn of Heart Centre Business. I just want to record just a short video because something that's come up to me recently is the concept of how you deal with mistakes and how you respond. First, more importantly, how you respond to mistakes. Let's face it, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all screw up sometime. If you haven't realised that yet, you will screw up some point. I have definitely screwed up so many times. But it's how you deal with mistakes is the key. And we actually have a rule for everyone in our company, and I literally say this to them: you will make mistakes. Guaranteed, you are going to make mistakes because you're human. Now, how you deal with it is key. And how you deal with it will depend on whether you have a future in this company or not. Because if you come to us with a mistake, say what's happened, as in what you've done, what the mistake was, what the fallout was, and come with plans or suggestions or asking for advice, how not to make this mistake again so you can learn from it and improve and not make a mistake again, great. With that attitude, you can be with a company for as long as you want to be. But if you hide a mistake, or even worse, lie about it, which actually hide the mistake is the same as lying about it, but particularly if you lie about it or deny it or trying to avoid taking responsibility, you're done. Literally, as soon as we find out that, immediate termination, because that is something we can't have, because hiding a mistake or denying responsibility for something is both lying to yourself as lying to other people, but it shows an absolute lack of growth and it's a lack of integrity. And that's something that as a value-based business, we can't have. So this has been our rule in our company forever, basically, but it really stood out to us why we have this rule and why we share with all of our clients that have this level of integrity, recognize you will screw up at times, your clients will screw up at times. This is both in business, in personal life, in anything. Recognize this and be clear on how you will deal with things, but also how you expect other people you work with to deal with things. So we've had two amazing examples literally today on different ways to handle mistakes. One was a digital marketing company that we've been working with for all of last year. And we spent let's just say, a sizable chunk of money over the course of the last year. And this is a company set up by a very close friend. Friend is still very dear to me, we're very close, etc. He set up this company and we worked with them, and it was distant to him, but it was his company. So there's an awful lot of trust involved in there. And fundamentally, it didn't work. The company couldn't produce results for us digital marketing wise. So at the end, towards the end of last year, I think it was early December, we called it and just said, okay, we're done. It's not working anymore. You're not creating results. So let's part ways. So we terminated the agreement. Everything was stopped, parted ways, absolutely fine, absolutely amicable. Just like, great, you've had a year, we spent money, didn't work. No harm, no foul. It was worth a try. Because we're in a position, fortunately, where we can do that. Yeah, it was annoying, it didn't work. A lot of money was spent. But it was a good learning in many, many ways. And then we found out literally yesterday, might have been the day before, that certain things were not switched off. So when we were told it was all done, everything was stopped, everything was closed down, it hadn't been. And the ad purchases or Google ads, Facebook ads, all of this stuff was still going on. And it's cost us just over £1,000 in the last month or so of things that weren't shut down that we were told were, and we didn't then check because we took people at their word, and it was all supposed to be sorted. And when we found this out and said, oh, wait a second, is this a fraudulent thing on our account? Can you just have a look at this? I said, oh no, your stuff's still running. We'll turn it off for you now. So, I'm sorry, what? This is supposed to be turned off 2 months ago. And when we then addressed this, going, guys, you've just cost us an extra £1,000 for not doing what you said you'd done. Their response was to deny responsibility, say, well, we have no contractual or moral obligation to refund you anything. it's not our responsibility. And then it led to saying, well, we handed everything over to you, so you and your team must be incompetent and didn't pick this up. So, wait a second. One, they're totally making it up because it wasn't covered at that, but it's more, there was no sense of, wow, we're sorry, we screwed up. Now, when I told them about this, I was understandably very frustrated. Over £1,000 gone out for no benefit, no purpose, for something that wasn't working in the first place. So I'd never wanted to carry it on, but in reality, I didn't expect them to refund us that money. It would have been nice, but I actually just wanted kind of that whole acknowledgement of, we've made a mistake, here's how we're going to make it right, in whatever shape or form that could have come by. Didn't have to be paying us the money back. But instead to be told, no, not our responsibility, and then rewriting the history and then saying, well, no, that's your fault, we're not going to deal with this, blew my mind, totally blew my mind. And completely, I've still been recommending people to go to a digital marketing industry, because I know, a digital marketing company, because I know they get results for other people, and it was more they couldn't get results for us. But knowing and respecting the people involved, I was still recommending them. But with the absolute candor saying it didn't work for us, but have a chat to them, because I know they can get good results for other people, and I can introduce you to who those people are, so therefore it's worth a chat. Now, no way. Because their values have been shown, how they deal with mistakes. Now, it's that concept of, remember, I'm a medical profession, it's that concept of the God complex of, you can't have to be infallible, you can't make mistakes. Well, how well does that work? It doesn't, it's such pressure, and we're all human, we do make mistakes. So the contrast and example of that was, we're having work done on a house at the moment, and socially distanced obviously, and the carpenter sent a message. He left at sort of 5 o'clock or so. He's building wardrobes and cupboards and all this sort of stuff for us. And he sent a message saying, I need to pop round, is 6:30 okay? I've got something you need to say. Okay, sure. And this guy, we love him. He's been doing such great work. Has such great attention to detail, etc. And there were two things. One, this morning he said, I'm not charging you for anything I did yesterday because my work was substandard. I'm not happy with it, and I'm going to be redoing it. That's fine, you can bill us anyway, because we respect, he's putting in the hours, it's great. The work he's doing is great. But he said, no, I'm not charging you for yesterday because it wasn't good enough, and I'm redoing it. So, okay, fine, thank you, I really appreciate that. You don't have to, but thank you. Like, great integrity. And when he came around this evening, he came around because he's been using some resin, making a special sink out of resin. You have to do it in different layers, because the first layer dries and sets, then you put the next layer on, etc. It leaks slightly, and he didn't notice, but it leaks slightly into the cupboard below where our wetsuits and sort of surfing sailing gear is. And on my wetsuit is now some of this dried resin. So he had gone home feeling terrible. He then looked up the make and model of my wetsuit and came back at 6:30 and said, here's money to buy a new one. And showed to it, like, pulled the wetsuit out that it was in the cupboard, and showed and said, look, I'm really sorry. And there's a small bit of resin. By the way, it's flexible, it's totally fine. It's a bit annoying, but it's totally fine, and it's still usable. But he said, this is my mistake. I want you to have the money immediately. I've gone away and looked up how much it's going to cost you to replace like for like this wetsuit. And it was £350 because I bought a wetsuit. Now, the reality was I got it for cheaper because I bought it on a special deal and things like that. And I said, look, it's fine. You've told us. It's a bit annoying, but accidents happen. I understand. I can still use a wetsuit. It's totally fine. And he said, no, you're taking the money because this is my mistake. I need to make it right. I don't care if you can still use a wetsuit. I'm giving you the money. And at that point, it's that whole, wow, this is such a great example of someone living the values that we hold. Now, he was so insistent, we took the money. But we didn't take the 350, I took the 200 that I paid for a wetsuit because I'm not going to replace it. I don't need to replace it. And it felt wrong to take more than I paid for it. But he was insistent we take something. It was, for him, this was his moral code, which is also why he's not shown sorry. Now, rest assured, we will make this right for him. We already gave him a substantial Christmas bonus for work he'd done for us before Christmas. He'll be looked after. But do you see what's happened? He's built such loyalty and trust from us. We're going to use him for everything. He's already done about a month and a half more work than what we originally brought him in for. There's going to be so much more. We're going to recommend him to so many people. It's that concept of by him having integrity to the level he has, he's made such advocates for his business now in us that's going to help him so much long term. Contrast that to the digital marketing company that has basically burnt all connection and rapport relationship with us, and we will actively discourage people from working with them if we find out that they're talking to anyone we know, because we want to protect our network from the same experience that we've had. And it wasn't the incompetence, it was how they handled it. So think about this for yourself. How do you handle mistakes yourself? How do you expect other people to handle their mistakes? How will you respond when people bring mistakes to you versus when they hide them? So this is just a learning that we've had over and over again, and it was just two such great polar opposite examples of why handling mistakes effectively is a key part of life and business. So I hope this has triggered some things for you. I'd be curious to find out what comes up for you out of this, and please, please, please feel free to make mistakes. That's life. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. In fact, I would say there's no such thing as a mistake. There's an opportunity to learn, provided you acknowledge it and own up to it. And that's part of a growth, and that's how you don't make those same mistakes again. Yes, you can feel bad about making mistakes. You can feel terrible about a mistake, and you can grow and you can learn. Because most of the time, if you own it and own up to it and take responsibility for it, most people respect that. Very rarely will that blow up in your face. And if it does, you can take it. You can learn from that too. So let me know if this resonates for you. I hope it's useful, and I'll speak to you soon.